Okay, Juliana Joplin. I think we all really liked this bike. It was so perfectly suited for it. So it's a 29er. Actually, it can be either 27 plus or a 29er. We rode it as a 29er. But it does have that versatility. I mean, it seemed like it was just perfectly suited for what we were riding today.
I think it would be perfectly suited for a lot of things. I mean, we really did love this bike. And as somebody who enjoys 29ers, I am having more and more difficulty finding 29ers in my size.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only ones I can find are this one and
the Trek Fuel.
Yeah, and the Trek Fuel.
Yeah, in the women's. And this isn't, so this is basically, I like to call it the tall lady. It's the tall boy, the women's version of the tall boy. It's the second version of the Joplin, but it hadn't been redesigned since it came out. So this is, it's just been modernized. It's longer, lower, slacker. Santa Cruz, they redid their whole suspension tune and changed the links, and so it rides so much different than the last version of this bike.
Well, and conversely to what Kristen said, I'm like the anti-29er because I've always just been like a total hater, and I confess that I don't really have a reason for that. I just am ignorant to it, and I was so surprised at how much I loved this bike. I had a blast.
Yeah,
it was fun.
They're really different now.
It was. I didn't even realize how minimal the travel was because it felt.
It's a
like
110.
It felt like
110, 120 fork, but 110 rear travel, and it's.
I felt as comfortable on this as I did on the 130 bike.
Yeah.
I felt fast. I climbed super fast.
This felt like the fastest bike.
Totally.
I think each, we rode together all day, and each, whenever one of us was on whoever was on the Joplin was
they
out
were
front.
in front.
Yeah. It just was like, it was so fast. It has that precision, you just feel like you can, it just goes where you want it to go. It felt really faster on corners, and it's a 29er, but it's got 17-inch chain stays, so it's not, it's got that snappiness to it.
Yeah, and so I know with the Joplin, they were able to really shrink down the wheelbase, and so I think that was part of what made this bike feel so nimble. Is you're not, just because you have the 29-inch wheels, doesn't mean that you're having this bike that is really long and sluggish around the corners.
Yeah, it just has great trail geometry. It's a 68-degree head tube angle. And it's a pretty low bottom bracket. I think it's 13 inches or just shy of 13 inches.
Juliana, to me, is a rebranded men's version, but it's a marketing company, right? Yeah. And they're marketing to a certain kind of rider, to a certain kind of rider, really. Like, they're not afraid to show a more aggressive style. I also want to note that this bike came with 760 bars, which felt really natural to me.
Yeah.
I thought it felt really good.
Yeah, I liked that it was a bit more of an aggressive build for a women-specific bike. All the other bikes you've ridden have been 720 or something around that range, and I like that they're not afraid to take that leap.
It's a 1x drivetrain, which is nice to see as well.
It's kind of just badass.
Yeah. I like how they really complemented the XC nature of the bike with some more aggressive features, like the wider handlebar. The tires I really liked on it.
Yeah, they went wider.
Yeah, they're 2.35 in the back, 2.3s in the front.
That's it. So this was, Juliana has, they have a lot of options with each of their bikes. They've actually, it's interesting over the years, they've kind of changed. They came out with sort of this whole range, and now they've really pared it down to I think just 4 frames, but they have a lot of options, and you can go pretty entry level to super high end. We were sort of somewhere right in the middle. We had what's called the S build. It's the C carbon frame. They do 2 levels of carbon. The a little bit lighter, more expensive one is the CC. This was the C. I frankly couldn't tell the difference. I rode the CC for 4 months this year and can't tell the difference. So it's $4,600, which is a little bit more than maybe other bikes in this category, but I kind of feel like it's worth it.
It didn't have any drawbacks to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate. If I were shopping and I'm looking at all the bikes we rode today, and all the things that you're getting, honestly, it has a reverb on it.
And a 150 reverb,
Which is awesome and
is
rare.
really rare.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's got the reverb. It's got the Fox 34. The suspension felt amazing. I just think for what you're getting, I think it's totally fair.
Yeah.
I love that somebody can, that you have one type of rider who wants to ride it as a 29er. You have a totally different rider who wants that little bit of confidence boost that you can get with the 27.5s or the 27 plus. And that they can have that option as well. And that's what I feel like the Juliana brand does really well, is it really does respect its rider. It offers you super high-end bikes so that you can choose that. It offers you a lot of options.
Definitely. Okay, so
I give it.
not a lot.
If I had 2 more hands, I'd give it 4
not a
thumbs
lot of
up.
negative things to say about this bike. It really was fun. It was the one time when I was like, man, I really don't want to be done riding. I want to keep
And then
going
I
on this
crashed.
thing.
Yeah, it was super fun. I like it.
Okay.
Me too.
All right, more beer.